Today I'm going to tell you guys about two different forged wheels that look the same but are slightly different, and we're going to talk about those because these are designed for the Toyota Tundra. So when it comes to picking different wheels for your truck, SUV, car, Jeep, etc., there's always different options. You've got cast wheels, you got flow form wheels, you got forged wheels. These two wheels are some of the highest quality of forged monoblock construction that are designed for the Toyota Tundra. But what's different about them? This wheel right here is from Raise Japan. This is the world famous Volk wheel. This is a Volk TE37 XT M-Spec. Now, being that it's a one-piece forged wheel, it is light, it is strong, it has a load capacity of about 890 kilograms, which means, in theory, this thing is unbreakable. Why won't people buy these compared to these or others? This wheel, not just this wheel, a set of 4 of these Volk wheels is about $4,000. Now, I had a set of these on my own Toyota Tundra project car because they are beautiful. The construction, the quality, the design, and especially the weight being forged makes a world of difference. When you upgrade your wheels on your truck, you're talking about rotational mass changes. The heavier the wheel, the bigger the tire, the slower that moves. So when you do a heavy wheel, it's going to be more difficult on your acceleration. The Volk racing wheel, the TE37 XT M-Spec, is the cream of the crop of forged wheels, and if anybody knows anything from the Japanese culture, the TE37 is the wheel of choice. Now over here is our very own VR Forged wheel. Now the VR Forged wheel is also a one-piece forged monoblock design. Again, not flow form, not cast. So it is also very strong and lightweight. The only difference here between these two really is because it's the ones we picked is this is a 17x9, this is an 18x9.5. The Volk racing wheel is a 0 offset, where our VR Forged is a 1 offset, 1 millimeter. If you're here at the 0 line, the higher the number, the closer you are into the fender. So with both of these wheels, the VR Forged wheel and the Volk, they've got a pretty good offset around 0 or 1, which is what most people like to run. So the VR Forged differs to the Volk some small areas. One is on the Volk wheel, I don't know why they do this, but they don't include center caps. They don't include center caps on most all of their car wheels, and you have to buy them. And that's like an extra 400 bucks. You're already spending about $4,000 plus. But again, if you're doing Volks, you're expected to pay that. Our VR Forged wheel, we actually include a bolt-on center cap. That's all machined. This wheel also features a knurl bead. Now the knurl bead on both sides, it's to give you a grip on the tire. That's why you see guys doing bead locks, because when you go off-roading, you drop that pressure down. The lower the pressure, it's gonna grab, allow you to crawl. The higher the pressure, it's just gonna spin, 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 and dig. But if you lower the pressure too much, what ultimately happens is that tire can spin on the bead. This doesn't have a knurled bead on it where this one does. Now we're not saying this is a better wheel, we're simply comparing these two, because a set of 4 of these wheels is about $2,500. It's nearly 40% less than the Volk. Now these are made in China, these are made in Japan. They're both forged one-piece monoblock. These are done with a 10,000 ton press in a factory that makes wheels for a lot of popular brands. Can't tell you, but I know for a fact that that's true. If we look at the back of the wheel, you can see we've got some additional machining where we've pocketed out here, and that gives us some weight reduction. Usually cast wheels don't have that, but cast wheels are so much heavier. We're talking anywhere from around 35 pounds for an 18-inch. And some of these guys rolling the big wheels down south, like the 20s and 22s, you're talking about massive weight. That truck is gonna be hard to get going. Now on the Volk wheel, they've got less material back here because when they've done their cuts and whatnot, they've made it so it's very, very smooth transition in here. So they actually have less meat, aluminum meat there, so it's a weight reduction on its own. So you can see here the difference between the two. This has a lot, even though it's the same offset by 1 millimeter, this has a lot of additional material. So technically, as the VR Forged might be just a little bit heavier, and I think these come in somewhere around 28 to 30 pounds, which is similar to these, around about 25 to 26 pounds for a wheel. So when we talk about price, again, a set of 4 of these is about $2,500. A set of 4 of these is about $4,000 plus center caps. Cast wheels can be anywhere from about $200 to $400 a wheel, which is a big savings for most people over even these as forged wheels. So the popularity of how many Volks you're gonna see on different trucks is not gonna be as great as what you're gonna see with the less expensive cast wheel. And that's why when we decided to do the VR Forged wheel, we wanna have that midpoint. We wanna have a wheel that's not a flow form, which is a pressurized, you know, it's just a step above cast, but a forged monoblock is the ultimate, like I said, strength, weight, everything. Cast wheels, it's possible to break them. Even though we've got wheels tested in the desert and jumping, those wheels can crack. Where forged wheels, it's very hard to crack those. So as I said earlier, this is a 17 by 9, this is an 18 by 9.5, and these are designed to fit the Gen 2 Tundra. So we're talking the 5 by 150, which is like a 2013 to a 2021. We make these wheels for different vehicles, TRX, Raptor, Jeep, 4Runner, Tacoma, etc. And there are Volks available for those same models. Now, 18s versus 17s, it's kind of a different topic to discuss. Some people even like to run 20s, and that's because what tire sizes are available. When we talk about the Toyota Tundra specifically, is most guys aren't putting 37s on those because, well, you got to do a lot of modifications to the bumper or chassis or have quite a lift. Most people are running like a 35-inch tire, and a 35 on an 18 is a perfect look. That's the same wheel spec I had on my Tundra. The 17s is going to give you a lot more tire wall side, so you're going to have a different look, a little bit more aggressive. Difference between 17, 18s, and 20s is obviously more wheel. It's going to affect your ride, and the 17s and 18s, I think personally, look a little better. So if you're looking to do a tire on the Tundra, you can either go with 35s, 33s, or if you have the equipment, you can step up to something like a 37. So that's just a little comparison for you on the difference between two forged wheels for the Tundra, VR Forged, Volk, two different prices, two different markets. So at least you guys can see side by side what those look like. So whether you're trying to equip your truck or your Jeep or your car, at least we've got different choices for you. So hopefully that learned you a little bit of knowledge, and now you can go out and get something you want.